before we get too carried away. So looking at close up of this guard, we have rust. God, man, there's so many dents in this car. We have more rust. And if we look out here, you can see that it's sticking out a bit. Actually pulls in too far in some areas. Big problem there, and then pulls back in again. This is going to be a challenge. And I just want to point this out. See that cracking? That's body filler. I can almost guarantee that I'm going to be stripping body filler out of this front corner. I completely missed that. I missed so much on this car. I really should have had a closer look. Alright, on with it. So we got the guard off the car again. There's so much body filler around this repair. So I'm going to strip all this out. Get rid of this. Okay, now, man. Get rid of this old repair. And I'll at least have to sort out the backside before I can start refitting this and working out what we're going to do. Fucking brilliant. Yep. This is the shit we're dealing with this car. Fucking great. Plan is to only repair the inner section for now. I'll do the outer section once we have the gaps and the transitions all sorted out. So I'm going to keep cutting back until we find some decent sheet metal, do that repair, and then bolt this back up. All right, this rust repair section is sorted. This is what we cut out. Well, actually, we cut out more than that. Don't know where the rest of it's gone, but it's done. Now I can bolt this back up and see what we need to do. You can also see how far we're going to have to cut all this out as well when we do that outer section repair, but I just want to get this thing on the car and try and get it all lined up. So last night we got this bolted back onto the car, and I spent quite a bit of time working on the pillar section behind the guard where this bolts up. And we now have, I was a little bit surprised, but after a lot of messing about, we now have a decent transition between the guard and the door. So I'm reasonably happy with how that's turned out. We still need to do a little bit of body work along here. That's just to sort out the shape. It sits out a little bit too much, so I might have to shrink that down a little bit. But I'm not overly concerned about that because we still have this to do. So I come out this morning, took some measurements, and from that blue mark to that blue mark, we still have the guard sticking out. I think it's about 3 millimeters, 3.5 millimeters, something like that. I'm not sure how well that'll come up in the camera. You can kind of see how far that's sticking out. So I've already done quite a bit of massaging to that pillar behind where all this bolts up, and I've kind of maxed it out there. So the plan now is to pull this guard off, and I'm going to make some cuts and do a bit of modifying to the frame itself that this outer skin sits on, and then bolt it back up, and hopefully that'll sort that problem out. Once I got that sorted out, then I can do that. Then I can work on the gap and finally finish up that rust repair. Right, slight problem. I'm kind of fucked up here. So we've been working on the panel transition and rust repairs and stuff, and I actually made some decent progress. And remember I mentioned this area here that's split, and I said there's body filler behind that for sure. Yeah. Turns out I'm a dickhead, because I knew we had filler there, but I thought it's probably just in this corner where it's had a bit of a hit, not a big deal. So instead of stripping this before doing all those rust repairs and trying to sort the gaps and transitions out, I just left it. Now we have the guard off again. I was just finishing up a couple of things, and I thought I should probably check that, and this is what we've got. I don't even know what that purple stuff is. I've never seen that before. So I've put in all that work, and now I find this. Now, normally if I come across something like this, I would just replace the whole guard, because what's the point? Unfortunately, I've already got a few days worth of work into this guard, sorting out the gap and the transition and a few other bits and pieces, the rust and whatnot. So because of that, I think I'll strip all this out, see what this is like, and I think I'll spend a day just messing about with it, see how long it's going to take me to try and sort this out to a point where it's respectable. Yeah, this might be a bit much, I think. Jesus. Ah, shit. Okay, getting there. So we've been working on repairing this section. It was a bit of a mess. I might just quickly put some photos up. I didn't really do much recording. I took a couple of photos after I blocked it, hit it with a guide coat, blocked it, and then took a few more. Once we made some progress, I've been working on it again this morning, and it's pretty close to where I want it now. But I wanted to bolt everything up just to see what was happening as far as lining up with this nose cone, because this nose cone had a whole heap of body filler around this corner and was all knocked in as well, of course. So I stripped that out and very, very crudely knocked out the edge of this nose cone and bolted everything up. Now, you probably can't see in the camera, but we have quite a bit of light getting through from there to about there. The transition, it's okay to about there, and the top's not bad, but it still needs quite a bit of work. So before I continue with this, there's a good chance that I might be moving this metal again, but what I'll do is I've got to take everything off the car again, because I can't actually get to where I need to get to while everything's all assembled. But unbolt it from the car, bolt the nose cone onto this front guard while it's off the car. Then I can get behind the indicator and mess about with it and hopefully sort that out. I think I might, if I can get this fairly close, this doesn't need too much more now. So if I can get this kind of close, then I might finish this section off, because I've still got a lot of work to do on this side of the car before I'm ready to strip it completely, like gut the doors, all the epoxy work and the filler work and whatnot. So I'm kind of curious. I want to make sure that this doesn't require too much filler to sort it out. As you know, I skim coat everything anyway. Rather than leave this sitting while I'm doing all the rest of the work, I'm just going to finish this front little corner section off and get it sealed up. And once this is all done, I'll move on to the rest of the work. So we need to strip it, got to finish welding up the trim holes. Still have to close the gap from the door to the guard and do the outer rust repair section on the front guard as well. And there's a little bit of work to finish off between the sill panel and the doors. Anyway, get all this apart and see what we can do. And we're back. Today, I really need an easy day. This is getting a bit irritating now. So I thought I might just do this repair, cut this out. Fairly simple, straightforward job. And then I might even do that dog leg. So it's another repair done. We've also, I forgot to mention, we sorted this gap out. Usual story, wordle up and file it. So that's a pretty easy one. Now I'll move on to the dog leg. I'll show you this gap once we've got that rust repair section in the bottom sorted. So moving on to the next fairly easy repair, we're just going to sort this out. So now we can actually work on not only sealing it up, but also getting the transition from the sill panel sorted and from the door Might have to do a bit of shaving and finish up the gap just down the bottom of the door. So another fairly simple, straightforward repair. So that's the dog leg sorted. Nice, easy repair. This was sticking out again, so it wasn't straight from the sill panel. So knocked that around. Did a few other little bits and pieces. Gap's kind of close. Check that later. Also closed this section up a little bit as well, just to make it look a bit tidier and match the other side. I do like these easy, simple repairs. So now I think I might just finish up that front guard. Just do the rust repair on that and then get back onto the nose cone and stuff. So changed my mind. Instead of doing that rust repair at the front, I think I'm going to sort out the gap to the sill panel on the front door. Normally I don't really worry about it too much. Like I said, clearly said it over and over, not a show car. So the sill to door is, unless you're either a long way away or get down on your hands and knees, it's not something you're really going to notice. But in this case, we're looking in between the two doors now, and hopefully you can see we have, I don't know how much that's showing up, just how short the front driver's side door is, even though we have a good transition going across the top. I haven't covered this in the other videos, but as you can see, we're just starting out with the TIG rod. We're slowly welding this onto the bottom of the door all the way down. There's well, almost all the way down. I need to add a little bit towards the end there. But this is basically how it all starts out. And I slowly weld this up all the way down on both sides, both inside and out. And then the fun process of shaving all this down and trying to get the correct gap. Now there's nothing wrong with just welding directly onto a panel. So if, say I had a small gap here that I wanted to touch up, like an inch or two, and it was only, say, a couple of millimeters out, or a millimeter out, then I'd weld directly onto the panel and shape it that way, and not bother with the TIG rod. But I seem to get a much better finish when I use the TIG rod, weld it all in and shave it that way. So it does increase the amount of welding that you have to do. But for the finish you get, I think it's worth it, especially when you're filling in larger gaps like this one. So we've got that all welded up on the outside and cleaned up. Now we have to open the door and weld up that backside, do the same, and we'll take it from there. So that's the finished product. We've welded behind the door, or the backside of the door, cleaned all that up, shaved it down. Once we finished cleaning that up, filed the gap, and we've got it to be, I mean, it's not perfect, but it's a lot closer than what it was. And both doors now, so the front and rear door, now finish at the same point. So that's going to look a lot tidier than what it did. Now I'm going to pull this guard off and finish up that rust repair.